Welcome to Letters to Darling. Before we start, let's say a quick affirmation. With every word I write, I return to myself. My truth flows freely, and my voice is worthy of being heard. Hi, darlings. This is Letters to Darling, aka Dream Darling. I'm so glad that you guys are back. And as always, let's light your candle, do your laundry, get in bed, get in your comfiest and softest spot, and let's get real. So this week's topic is all about writing. I'm talking about my passions and your passions as well, how I found mine and where it all started for me. So it all started for me in like the beginning, maybe like third grade. And now third grade is when I was like 9 years old, and that's when I noticed I started getting a little bit sad, but it wasn't like boom, like in my face sad. And I remember that like I would see these commercials of like girls having like the diaries and stuff, and how even there was like a diary that like you had to speak like a secret word or whatever and then open up. But I wanted a diary. So we were in Justice, and this was like a girls' clothing brand. It was so cool. It was so nice. We don't have anymore, I don't think, but we were in Justice, and I really wanted this diary. It was like fluffy, and it had like my initial on it, and I was like, perfect, like this belongs to me. So I got it, and then as soon as I got home, I remember I was writing in it, and I kept on writing in it. And so then, like, me and my sister, back when we were, like, little, we would write songs, and we would always dance to, like, music. And then in fourth grade, I was even writing songs then, and I would sing them. I remember this boy in fourth grade. He was so cute, and every girl wanted him because he was literally, like, the cutest boy. And he was leaving. And so I literally wrote a song for him. And like, that's so embarrassing. But I literally wrote a song for him. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I looked back at it like a couple of months ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that I did that. So obviously writing has been like in my face like this whole time. But I'm like little at this time. So I'm not like thinking much of it. Like, really, like I was thinking, okay, like I'm gonna write for like Taylor Swift, but really in my mind at that age I'm like, okay, I want to be like a teacher, I want to be like a lawyer, I want to be a millionaire, whatever, you know. So then like when writing really becomes something I really enjoy, and my like mind is like there, like I'm understanding, is about like seventh grade. So we had to write about this fire that had happened in this building. So you had to either write it from the perspective of the people in the building, from the people like looking at it like catch on fire, and then the fire. And there are some other perspectives as well, but I wrote it from the fire because I knew no one else was going to do that. So I wrote it so good. Like, y'all, oh my gosh, I wish I had that because it was so good. And I remember my dad being like, wow, like, Kaylin, you wrote this? And I was like, yeah. And he was sharing it to all my family members. Y'all, it was so good. I'm not just boosting my head. I really believe that it was so good. And so then writing, like, I kind of stopped. Like, I wasn't really journaling or writing as much anymore as I got older and around like high school. And so then I was in my senior year, and like this year was absolutely horrible for me. And my teacher was amazing. And like there are like teachers who are just there to teach, and then teachers who really loved teaching. And this lady, she really loved teaching. And she didn't like teach, but like I don't know how to explain exactly what she did, but it worked. It really did work because I loved her class. I only looked forward to going to her class because it was just so good. She had us writing like stories and like poems and all of this stuff, and that's when I think writing really got like back into me. Like, it literally like jumped inside of me, and then I started writing. I would send her my writings and my poetries, because at the very beginning of like my writing journey and like my senior year was when I really, really, really loved poetry, which is so crazy because you remember when we would have those state testing, and it would be like the English version, it would be like poetry. I'm like, what does this even mean? What does this mean? Because I wasn't really taught poetry like that at all. But I was so confused on the poetry on the state testing. So, like, me writing poetry didn't even make sense for me. I was like, how am I writing poetry right now? And I don't even understand it. But I ended up, oh my gosh, I ended up understanding, and I love poetry now. It's so beautiful with the metaphors and everything. And that's like my favorite part, is that, like, when you're explaining emotion, there's so many metaphors that you can like make with it. Like, it's so beautiful. Writing is just amazing, and that's something that I took for granted when I was younger, and I really wish that I paid attention how people like wrote, and like the meaning of like this emotion that they're feeling. Like, that's why they're writing it like this. Like, I feel like that's like a good understanding of what I'm trying to say. If you get it, comment down below. I got it, girl, because ooh. So back to my senior year, I'm going to tell you guys like what exactly got me back into writing, like what really like pushed it. I was started writing my poetry and all of that stuff my senior year when I got in that class, but what really did it for me was I had to write the perspective of Angelina Jolie in Beowulf. And y'all, like, okay, so I could rewrite the story however I wanted, but the same things had to happen, if you know what I mean. And the way that I wrote it, I was in love with it, y'all. I literally loved it so much, and it brought me so much happiness and so much joy that after that, I just kept going and I kept going. I was like writing back to back to back to back. I found it the perfect way to release my emotion that I was feeling, that I could create anything out of that. And I feel like that should be something everyone should, like, a piece of advice that everyone should know is that create something out of your pain, because it's going to be the most beautiful thing that you've ever seen, you've ever done. Once you've known that your pain is now something that people like look at and is like, wow, like that's so beautiful. And it doesn't have to be your pain realistically, like you saying, oh, like I was hit or whatever. It doesn't have to be that, but it can be a piece of art, and know that you did it while you were in pain, but look what those emotions can give you. Instead of all of that hurt, it can bring something beautiful out of it. And I feel like that's what people need to hear, is that you can create beauty with your pain. And I was very lucky to have found what I love to do, and something that I would do this rather than do this, no matter how much it was pain, because I really, really love writing. And I mean, I found it pretty early. I found it at like 18, maybe even younger if you want to get like technical, I guess. But I found it at 18, and some people don't find their passions until later in life. So I'm very lucky. I'm very grateful for that. But what I do want to say is to maybe go back into your childhood and look back at what you used to do, whether that was like beating on these drums that you used to play. Maybe that is your passion, that you should be a drummer or just something like that. Go back and connect to your inner child, and to really think that what she really loved doing, not what she wanted to be, but what she loved doing. And I know that it's like kind of embarrassing, because I was embarrassing that I really liked writing, and it was so embarrassing, and I didn't like to tell people or whatever. But I think it was from like other people's like passions aren't like writing, especially now these days. They want to be into fashion, or like people are like an accountants and all stuff, and like that's their passion. And like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I'm not saying like there's anything wrong with that, but like for me, writing, like I feel like people look at it a little bit differently, especially if you're not writing about something like money or like laws of power or something. Like, I don't know, I was just so embarrassed by it. But why be embarrassed by it? Like, don't be embarrassed by your passion. If that's what you feel like in your heart that your soul is meant to do, then do it, because everybody else is on the same like kind of like path as you. As long like it doesn't matter if they are like, you think that they're higher up, maybe they aren't. What you see is not always like what you get, you know? So always keep that in mind, is that no one is technically doing better than you, because you can always be that better. Like, you know? Like, I feel like that made sense. My friend, because I posted this TikTok and I was talking about how like I don't do this and like how I look at things and stuff. And I was like, do I sound crazy? And he was like, yeah, like you sound crazy. And I was like, oh, well, I kind of, oh, well, you know. I loved writing so much that I didn't care about other people's opinions of it, because I believed in it. And you should believe in what you want to do. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. As long as you believe, then you're good. I honestly like to say that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks, or if anyone's on my side, because I know God's on my side, universe is on my side, my spirit guides are on my side. So it doesn't really matter, because you aren't in my reality. Like, I don't do the negativity, so you can't even reach me, you know? Like, don't let those negative people reach you, because ew, just ew. That's what I like to say, ew. Through writing, I also found you guys, and I really, really love that. Like, your passions can take you somewhere you didn't even know that you were supposed to be. Like, I didn't think that I would have a podcast and like I would have a brand and all this stuff all through my writing and my emotions and my pain. And look at me now. Like, I never thought that this would happen, but look at what happens when really like you change your mindset and you really go in for what you believe, and like you trust yourself to get it. And I trusted myself. I put in the work and I put in the effort, and now I have this, and I'm so grateful and so blessed for this, and I love it so much. So another passion that I really want to talk about is my friend. So my friend is an artist, and he loves to like sing, and he makes really good music. And his passion started back in like, I feel like middle school, I think it was. Don't quote me on that, because it might have been younger. But his passion is like, oh my gosh, it really takes over everything. And he talks about it all the time, and he puts in the work and he puts in the effort, and it is just so beautiful. He's turned his pain into music, and I love that, because I tell him all the time, like, me and him kind of do the same thing, except for he just like sings it and I just write it. One thing I'm writing about this week, which will come out on Tuesday, is my Mr. Big. Yes, I love Sex in the City. It is so great. I love it. And I feel like everyone is Charlotte, Samantha, Miranda, and Carrie, all in their different ways. But I wanted to talk about the time that I was a Carrie. And I know how embarrassing, but guys, we've all been a Carrie. You've been a Carrie. I've been a Carrie. So down below, drop down your Carrie moments and your Mr. Big moments. But that is all that I have for you guys today. So thank you guys so much for watching. But before we go, as always, we say a little affirmation. So repeat after me. I am connected to my inner world through writing. I honor my thoughts, feelings, and dreams, one page at a time. Also, guys, I just want to let you guys know, on my Pinterest, I will have some journal prompts and some other ways of writing. On my YouTube video on Saturday, we'll talk more about how to manifest in writing, and how to become your dream woman with writing, and writing to release. So look out for those posts, guys. Thank you guys so much. Love you.